Go ahead.
Okay, teaching writing to kindergarten students is really simple, so we don't want to make it too difficult for the children. First, you want to ask your child what sentence are you writing. So, for instance, we can say, I like to play outside. So, the first thing is we want to make sure that they always capitalize the beginning of their sentence. So, we'll ask them I. Most children know how to spell I, so we capitalize it. Soon as they have their first capitalization, then you want to tell them two finger spaces to separate their words. So we're going to put two finger spaces after I, and then we're going to write like. Now, we're not trying to get them necessarily to spell all of the words correctly, but we at least want them to hear the beginning sound of the word. So you'll tell them like, what does like begin with? And they should say L. Now, if they know the rest of it, great. But then you can say sound it out. Whatever letters they write after that, I'm perfectly fine with that at this stage within the first 9 weeks. So if they write Lig, I'm perfectly fine with that. I like. And then we're moving on to our next word. Two finger spaces to represent we're going on to our next word. Two. Most of your students will know how to spell that because it is a sight word that we've covered in the first 9 weeks, so I will expect them to spell that word correctly. And then we're moving on. Then you tell them two finger spaces again. Play. Ask them again, what does play begin with? And they'll tell you P. And whatever they write after that, once again, is perfectly fine. You're moving on. Tell them if they're running out of space, then they drop down to the next line. I like to play, and then outside. So you'll ask them once again, out, and most of them will say oh. Now, sometimes once they get to this line, they'll think that they have to do a capitalization again, but if it's still one sentence, just remind them that it's still lowercase letters. So out, and then I'll say, okay, maybe a compound word with outside, and then they'll tell me side begins with the letter S, and then side, however, what letters they choose, perfectly fine. Let them listen rather than you telling them the sounds of the word. Let them write what they're actually hearing. And then at the end, make sure they put a punctuation, a period. And then this blank space is always there because we do want them to illustrate what they have written. So I like to play outside. Just have them draw a picture. They're playing, maybe a swing and or a slide outside that they're playing on. And then in kindergarten, we want them to label it. And labeling, once again, it does not have to be spelled correctly. It's basically to show them to draw a line. And they can say that maybe that is the swings, however they wish to spell it. And then make sure that they have their name at the top of their paper.